Okay, so let's start now with our lecture number 20, and this lecture is again on space geometry, something further on what we have already discussed. What we did in our last lecture, it was about the angles of lines with principal planes. Okay, so if there was a line and we wanted to determine the angle of this line with the horizontal plane, with the frontal plane, with the profile plane, and we used two methods there. In one case the method of revolution, and the other the edge view and the true length method. So basically in both the methods what we are doing, we are trying to make the true length of this line, okay, maybe on an auxiliary plane or maybe by rotation, by revolution on one of those principal planes only. And then once the true length of this or the true view, normal view of this line is available, we know the angle will be the angle between the edge view of the plane and the true length of the line. So by making use of this, we could determine the angles. Then using the same principle, we found the angle of a given line with a given plane, and the plane was oblique. Similarly the line is oblique, and basic idea again in this case was we will try to establish the edge view of the plane and also the true length of this line. So, and both of these are projected on one of the auxiliary planes, and there on that auxiliary plane we will be measuring the angle. So we have understood this part. Now we will take it forward. What we will do today, we will talk about the angle between planes. Now what is the meaning of this? If I just show you, I have got this small wallet here. Using this, let there are two planes, plane number 1 and the plane number 2, and over here these two planes, they are intersecting. Alright, so that's the angle between the planes. Well, one case over here, when the projections of both planes are available on frontal as edge views. Okay, let's look at that case, then we'll understand it. What I'm saying, okay, plane 1, plane 2, if I keep this wallet like this, so that the line of intersection of these two planes is perpendicular to the frontal principal plane. Just visualize that. If that is the case, on the frontal plane we'll have this line of intersection appearing as a point view. Now in this case you can determine, you can know that the angle between these two planes is in fact the angle between the edge view of this plane and this plane. So the basic of our method, whenever we are trying to determine the angle between two planes, will be, we'll try to identify or we'll try to project for both the planes their edge views, and then we'll measure the angle between them. So for the first case, let us do it and keep this in mind. So that's our basic rule. The angle is the angle between the edge views. So here there is a plane A, B, C, D. There is another plane A, B, E, F. Alright, and you will notice that this line, which is the line of intersection, is in this case perpendicular to the frontal plane. Alright, that is how the line of intersection is projected. So it is perpendicular to the frontal plane. It's like this. So the corresponding projection of this, again notice when I said perpendicular, you know, this line is perpendicular to the frontal plane. That means this line is parallel to the horizontal plane. That's why on the horizontal plane I have got the normal view of this, and we are writing it as TL. Okay, so once you project it onto the frontal, what you will get the edge views of both the planes. And as we discussed, the angle that we are interested in, the angle between the planes, will be equal to the angle between their edge views. So both are the edge views, and this is where the angle is. We'll see some little more complicated cases, but keep this one in mind, that this is how we will be determining the angle between two planes. In the second case, the line of intersection is given in true length. What is the meaning of this case? The case is this. Again, let's see the plane 1 and plane 2. This is the line of intersection. Line of intersection is given as the true length on one of the projection planes. Let us say I'm taking the frontal. On the frontal view, this line, the line of intersection, is appearing as true length. The meaning of this is this line will be parallel to the frontal plane. Okay, so let us say this line is parallel to the frontal plane, and that is how the case is. Okay, because this is parallel to the frontal plane, that's why it is true view, and this is how the case is, or maybe this is how the case is. So 1, 2 planes, line of intersection. Let me show you this. So plane number 1, say ABC, is projection on horizontal plane, and then the corresponding projection of this plane on the frontal plane. Then the second plane is ABD, and the line of intersection of these two is this. And obviously you will notice that this line of intersection is parallel to the frontal plane. You will notice it here in the projection, it is parallel to the frontal plane. Okay, but this line need not to be horizontal, it can be inclined also. So right now also for these two planes, the line of intersection is parallel. This line is parallel to the frontal plane, and it is an inclined line, and this is how the case is. So for the second plane, its projection on the frontal plane is like this. So on the frontal plane, this particular line will be the true length. We know it because its projection on the horizontal plane is parallel to the hinge line. So once we know this, with the help of the true length, we can easily establish the edge view of the planes, or rather we can say with the help of the true length of the line AB, I can establish its point view. We know how to do that. To do it, I will take another auxiliary plane and let the auxiliary plane we name in this case as A. So if I see in this direction now, okay, that is how I am saying I will be getting the edge point view of the line AB. Alright, let me clean it. And as we know, as per our definition, of course the name I have written here A, but as per our definition, what we call it A3, this is A2, and this is A1. So the horizontal is A1, frontal is A2, and the auxiliary plane A is A3. So we are taking the projectors from A2, so these are the directions of the projectors. Okay, similarly from D also the projectors will come like this. Alright, and then we'll be taking the distances from A1, or in this case the horizontal plane. So let us do it. If you do it, so again the projector from D, and then these distances we are mapping on the auxiliary plane. What we get in the auxiliary plane in this case is the edge view of both the planes ACB and ABD, and we know it, the angle between these two planes is the angle between their edge views. So the angle between their edge views can be now determined. We'll again make use of the same concept. Maybe we make the problem little more complicated. So let's see it. Now what is it? The line of intersection is not given in true length. So the planes are one oblique plane, another oblique plane, and their line of intersection is not in true length. That means this line of intersection here is not parallel to any of the principal planes, or the line of intersection in this case is an oblique line. And we know it. If given an oblique line, how to determine the point view of the oblique line. Once we can determine the point view of the oblique line, that means we are saying in this direction, for these two planes, we will be getting the S views. So this is how we will be solving this problem again. So let we make the planes. A plane is A, B, C and its projection on the horizontal. So right now I am showing you the projection of a plane. The plane is here A, B, C on the horizontal principal plane. And then corresponding projection on the frontal plane. Again, take care of the notation. I am using AH, BH, CH for the horizontal, AF, BF and CF for the frontal. Similarly, for the second plane, let ABD is the second plane and its projection on horizontal and the frontal are shown here now. And you will notice the line AB here and line AB here. So there is a line in none of the views. When I say none of the views, I mean the frontal view and the horizontal view. This line is not parallel to the hinged line, or we can say the line is not parallel to either frontal plane or the horizontal plane. So line is oblique, as we can see over here. But we know how for this line we can generate its point view. So let us generate the point view of this line. So to generate the point view of this line, what we are doing, parallel to this projection of the line AH, BH, I am taking an auxiliary plane. So this hinged line is showing me the edge view of an auxiliary plane. And right now, where is the auxiliary plane? Right now the auxiliary plane is going inside the screen and we are seeing only the edge view of this. So hinged line is an edge view of it. Then next what we do, we open the auxiliary plane above the hinged line. So the area which we open, and this is where our auxiliary plane will be. So after opening it, okay, we have done this before. So if you do it now on auxiliary plane A1, we can project the line, and now these two are parallel. So the meaning of this is, on the auxiliary plane, line AB will be projected as true length. Okay. Again, when we are doing these projections, this is A3 as per our definition, A2 and A1. We are taking the distances from A1 and putting them on A3. So in this case, this is how the projection will appear. So the line here is the true length, okay, because its projection on the horizontal is parallel to the auxiliary plane A1. So that's why it is the true length. So once we have the true length here, with the help of the true length, we know how to create the point view. So now we are saying in this direction to create the point view. So to create the point view, again the same principle will be using of A3, A2 and A1. And in this case, of course, this will become now A3, this is A2 and the horizontal plane is A1. So the projections or the projectors have been taken from A2, distances will be taken from A1 and will be applied over here. So let us do this. If I apply those distances which are shown by the green color here, okay, this is how we get the edge views of two planes. Once we have got the edge views of the two planes, it's very easy. Now we can find the angle. Okay, so even if two planes which are or the line of intersection is oblique, we can determine now the angle between two planes. Let us see now one more case, and this is now about the shortest distance from a point to a line. So meaning of this is, if I have a line here and a point, what is the shortest distance? Okay, so in the orthographic projections, say in the frontal and the horizontal, I am given the projections of a line and also a point. I have to determine the shortest distance between these two. What is the shortest distance? The shortest distance between these two will be following this principle here. So the distance between a point, okay, and a line, the shortest distance is the distance between the point and the point view of the line. So what is the meaning of it? Let us take a case. Let there is a line. So over here, this is a line. I am taking a special case. This line is perpendicular to the frontal plane, and here is the point. So if from the point, if I drop a perpendicular onto it, that is the shortest distance. If you see the projection of this line, perpendicular, and the point onto the frontal, what do you see? You see, corresponding to this point, there is a point projected. Corresponding to this line, there is a point view projected. So the point, the projection of the point and the projection of the point view over here, or projection of the line, if I join these, it is the same as the perpendicular. Okay, so we will make use of this and we will be solving this problem. Let us take one case. The case is when point view of line is available, a simple case as I was talking here. So what that case is, the line, as I was showing you the line here, the line is perpendicular to the frontal plane. So its horizontal projection and its point view on the frontal. Okay, so this is AF, BF, here it is BF. Then we see a point D, and DH is the horizontal projection of point D. Similarly, DF, here it is DF, is the projection of the point on the frontal plane. So now, as per this definition, as per this understanding, this concept, if I join DF to the point view of the line, okay, if I join these two, and this is the true length, this is the true length, okay, corresponding to this, because this is true length, what will be the projection on the horizontal? So the projection on the horizontal will be this, which will be parallel to the frontal plane. Alright, so using this, I can determine the foot of the perpendicular on line AB, okay, and also I can determine now the distance between the point and the line. Let us do that. Okay, so that's line, or rather the from point, I have joined the point view of the line on the frontal projection. Okay, and this one is the true length. This is why it is parallel to the frontal plane. So we have the CH. CH is now is the foot of the perpendicular on line AB. So corresponding to the CH on the frontal projection also, because where the CS will go, the CH will also appear within this point. So let the CF we can write here. Alright, so this line is the true length. Okay, let's understand the concept. The concept is to determine the distance from a point to a line. We determine the distance between the point and the point view of the line on a projection plane. Okay, now we will utilize the same concept to solve some more complicated cases. So the case here is the point view of line is not add over. That means the line is not now perpendicular to the frontal plane or any other plane. It is rather an oblique line. See, if this is the case, let us see how the line is and where the point is. So that's the line AB, and of course in this case the problem is little easy, because you will notice that line AB is parallel to the horizontal plane, and that is how the projection is. So if this is the line, a line is little inclined, okay, from the frontal plane and from the profile plane, but the line is parallel to the horizontal plane. That is how the projection is here. Okay, now for this case we have to solve, and the point, given point is this D. So DH is the projection of the point on horizontal, and DF is the projection onto the frontal. In order to handle this problem, we know it, we will determine the distance between the point, okay, on one of the auxiliary planes somewhere where I can project the given line as the point view, and also I can take the projection of that point from where the distance is to be determined, and then the distance between the point and the point view of the line is the distance which is the shortest distance. So if this is the idea how we can handle it, once this is the case, you will know, because these are parallel, so this length will be the true length. If I know AS BS as the true length, as normal projection, because the line is parallel to the horizontal plane, it is very easy for me to determine another, auxiliary plane, and if I see from this direction, I can get the point view. So if you do all this, let us do it. So that's the true length, the normal view, and seeing in this direction, let's say this is the another auxiliary plane A, and then on that auxiliary plane we are projecting our point DH, or rather the point D, and also the line AB. So line AB will be projected as a point. That's why BA and AA are written at the same point. Similarly, corresponding to D, and how we are projecting, again we are making use of A3, A2 and A1. So I have taken the projector from A2 and I am taking the distance from A1 and applying this distance over here. Alright, so over here I will have the point DA. That means the projection of point D onto the auxiliary plane. So we give the name. So this is DA. Alright, so we have got what we wanted, the point view of the line and as well as the point on an auxiliary plane. So we measure the distance between these two. We join them. If we join it now, I would also like to determine where is the foot of the perpendicular, say from in the horizontal projection onto the line or onto ASBH, which is the horizontal projection of the line. Where will that be? We know it, this is true length. Okay, if this is true length, let me give some names also here. True length, D from point D onto the line AB over here, it has to be parallel to the auxiliary plane. Okay, so the foot of the perpendicular can be determined now with the help of that this line should be parallel to the auxiliary plane, and that is how we determine the foot of the perpendicular, which we call it CH. Okay, on the horizontal plane. So C is the foot of the perpendicular, CS is the projection of that onto the horizontal plane. Alright, if this point is C, you will understand there should be also a point CA at the same point. Alright, so let's give that name. So this is CA, because point A, B, C all are in one line, and on the auxiliary plane I am getting the point view of that line. Now corresponding to CH, I can also determine the corresponding point onto the frontal projection. If we do that, I'll be drawing the projector, and corresponding to this I'm getting the point CF. Alright, if I join, let me just discuss it now. So between a line, of course in this case the line was horizontal because it is parallel to the horizontal plane. Between a line and a point, from this point if I drop a perpendicular onto this line is AB, the foot of the perpendicular is C, so this is point is D, DC. So the projection of DC now on horizontal and on frontal are like this. Okay, so this is how we can determine the distance. And what is the value of the distance? The value of the distance is written over here. Let's take it forward. Again, point to line, and in this case the line is an oblique line. Not even the line, in earlier case the line was parallel to the horizontal one, but it is not parallel anymore, rather it is an oblique line. So this line is not parallel to any of the principal planes, and let's handle it. Again, we will be using the same principle. We will try to arrive at an auxiliary plane where we will be able to see the point P of this line, as well as that point from where I have to measure the distance or the shortest distance to this line, that point. Both of these needs to be projected onto that auxiliary plane, and then from there I will measure the distance, and then using the projectors I will come back. Let's do it. Okay, so this is the horizontal plane, frontal plane, and then we have the projection of the line AB on the horizontal and the projection of the line AB on the frontal. We know it. Then using the, okay, this is the point O, the point from where we have to measure the distance. So what is this case like? This case is something like this. Okay, this case is something like this. This point is A, this point is B. If you see the projection of this, on the frontal will be AB, and on the horizontal it will be AB. So that is how the projection will be, and that is, this is how the case is. And then point O is somewhere here like this. So point O is somewhere here. Okay, the point O is somewhere here. Now let us solve it. So what we will do, again we will take an auxiliary plane, and why we are doing it? We are doing it first to determine the true length of line AH, or the normal view of line AH. To get the normal view, we know we will be taking an auxiliary plane which is parallel to this projection. So we have now A1, first auxiliary plane, and on this auxiliary plane if I project the line will come as the true length. So this is the true length. Similarly, the point O has also been projected. Okay. Now I'm not talking about the distances anymore, because we know how the distances are taken from A1 in this case. Again, when I say A1, I don't mean this, the A1 as per our definition. As per our definition, this is A3, this is A2, and this is A1. Alright, so let's go further. We will be able to generate now the point P of this line. So for that we take another auxiliary plane, and that is A2. So if you project it on A2, I will have the point P of line AB, and as well as the point O will be projected here. So this distance D1 is equal to distance D1 here. Now in this case the things have changed. This has become A3, while this is A2 and this is A1. We understand this. Alright, once this is the case, what we wanted, we have both the things are available with us. We join these, okay, and this is the true length. This is the true length, or this is the shortest distance between the line and the point O. Alright, what we will do now, we will take it back. For example, I have written here PA2. That means from O, if line AB is this and the point O is here, the perpendicular or the shortest distance is this now. So the foot of the perpendicular on line AB is P. Because A, P, B all are collinear. This is why they all are appearing at the same point. Okay, in the same point view. So where is this P point on line AB, say in auxiliary plane A1? So what we will do, we will again make use of the projectors from A2 and we will go back and identify it. Okay, let's do it. So if you do, so that's the shortest distance as we discussed. The point O is known to me, okay, on A1. So the projection of that is OA1. From here, what I have done, parallel to the auxiliary plane A2, I have drawn this line. Okay, why I am doing it? Because this is the true length. So its corresponding projection on A1 will be parallel to the auxiliary plane A2. That's why this is being drawn parallel to this. Alright, once we have done this, we have the foot of the perpendicular, because this is auxiliary plane A1, that's why we are writing it as PA1. Now using this PA1, I can take it back further to horizontal plane, okay, and locate the corresponding point P on the horizontal plane. So let us do it. Well, that's the projector. So that's the point PH, and once we know the PH, I can join PH and OH. If I join these two, I will get the projection of the shortest distance onto the horizontal plane. So this is the projection onto the horizontal plane. Similarly, the point P can be brought to the frontal plane. So we have PF. Once we have the PF here, again I can join these two. That will give me the projection of the shortest distance on the frontal. So that's the projection onto the frontal. Alright, so by doing this, we are able to determine the shortest distance. We can measure it. So that's the true length. We can measure it, as well as corresponding to that line, which is the shortest distance, its projection, the projection of that line, the projection of the shortest distance onto the horizontal plane and the frontal plane are also determined.